Good evening. This is Brother Dave, and I didn't get to do this earlier, but here's a word for today to encourage you. I did this one time before, but I was asked about it again to talk a little bit about Job. Now, Job was perhaps the earliest book of the Bible set in a period of the patriarchs like Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Joseph. And it tells a story of a man who loses everything: his wealth, his family, and his health, and he toys with the question of why. He actually, he actually talks to the Lord, and he says why. He wants to know why. And there's a lot of people in this day and time, they say, well, it's wrong to question the Lord. When you search in the book of Job, you will find that Job questioned the Lord. He questioned the Lord on this why. Why do these things happen to me? Why do bad things happen to good people? It rains on the just as well as the unjust, is what the Bible teaches us. And we find in the story of Job, in the book of Job, it's one of the earlier books of the Bible, well set in this period, we find that he was basically tormented. I mean, he went through a whole lot of things, through this. Even having to break a clay pot, to scrape the sores and the boils. And could you imagine one of us doing that in this day and time? We would have to run to a doctor. We'd run to a hospital, you know. But this man did not give up on God. He did not just throw up his hands and say, well, I quit, or I give up, or God, what are you doing for me? You're doing nothing for me. And I've heard folks do this, and I'm guilty of it myself because I've did it. I've did it in my past also. But is it wrong to question God? Job questioned God, and he wanted to know a simple question. Why? I want you to get into your scriptures. I want you to find out the who's, the what's, and the why's. The book of the Bible, many books in the Bible, rather, you want to read a good love story, get in the book of the Bible. If you want to read a story of adventures, get in the Bible. Get into some of the books in the Bibles. You want to read something that's action-packed, get in the Bible. These aren't just fairy tales. These are true events that's happened in mankind's history. Things that we need to teach, preach, and pass on to the next generations. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, if the Lord tarries. They need to know these things. Now, we live in a time now where they've lost the zest and the zeal to go to the house of God or to pick up a Bible or even take their children to a church. Well, I'm not a judge. I can't judge your character or judge what you do. I will not. I refuse to. And how the Bible does teach us to bring up the children in the way. We're supposed to bring the children up with the knowledge of God, with the knowledge about God, rather, and about the Holy Scriptures. We are supposed to do so. It's not up to us to ask why, because one day we will understand why certain things. It's okay if we ask why. If we don't receive an answer when we take on a new body, a new glorified body, when we're on the other side, we'll look back and we'll realize, oh, okay, I understand now why these things happen. Atrocities, horrible things that come upon mankind that we don't understand right now in the flesh. But as a spiritual human being, we will one day understand why. Just as Job found out why, a lot of times it's a test of our faith. A lot of times it gives us a strong testimony to be able to pass on. When we have to go through trials and tribulations, we have to go through things in this life. If you live a complete and total sheltered life, how can you tell others how to live? How can you tell others, to shun this and to stay away from this and to try to pass by these things? Because we are the elders, the older people. We are the teachers of the children of tomorrow. And we do need to try to teach them right. Now, I heard it once said that, 40 years ago or so, 50 years ago or so, 40 years ago, you get in trouble in school for chewing gum. That was that was the number one problem in the schools. And now children are killing children. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make good sense to Brother Dave. It just doesn't. Children are bringing guns to school. There's so much violence in the world, so much death in the world, wars. There's things going on that, that we just really don't understand. But I can tell you this much: we all need Jesus in our life. This man Job, he went through some things. I would like for you to kind of study your life, study things around your life, about your life. Try this man called Jesus, this man named Jesus. Get into the Bible. Find you a good Bible preaching, Bible teaching church. If you have children, place your children there. It's not going to hurt a thing. It'll enrich your life. I'm telling you that right now. I guarantee you, it will enrich your life. This has been Brother Dave. These are words to encourage and help my friends on the way. I've got a lot of friends out there. I thank God for each and every one of you. Until my next appointed time with you, God bless, and have an absolutely wonderful evening. Bye-bye.